Gilg Jew, Gilg J as Gilg Claare.
William Assaultach agus an Claare Show, Claare na Gael. I'm Robert Catin Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Have you ever had tell of old Bobby Bob?
And I'd like to welcome you to Claare na Gael. And over the course of the next hour, part of the programme will be in the English language as be Pert Jane Claare Sigilg, and part of the programme will be in the Manx Gaelic, Jinian Amera, the mother tongue of Ellen Fanning, the Isle of Man. As Mabanach Dutrish, in December 1825, an interesting case came before Deemster John Christian and a jury of 6 in a court of in Castletown. And there's an interesting incident even before the case started, and then there are reports of the court proceedings and the evidence of letters between the two parties. Tashin Chitkus Jera Skiel Ferris Shaw Visemnasich, a boord, an adel as a maja, ons Chaglan Wilhelms Jacob Grimm. Skielir en goil toiach leis gaur, as chane gaur chajan be, ach verheble Jack Lord. Ach na jaider awi Lord, vi gins bregen. I announced a song last time which, well, turned out to be a mere figment of my imagination. It's an unseasonal look at the Manx herring fishery, and it's sung by Brian Maxtol. Tauas geestiach rish Radio Vanning, Stasio the Nation, beskuller skelia maach by Doolish, Ellen Vanning.
O van en weg wient ons menach in, on jital en je steren, tret en jaren kret as na present sight, go rauw de gerach na beden. San en veel join be much go roin, de jichen san warpen skaden. Hier zich Jan Brouwer les tjerne laur, Gael noesnen sjaal van garen. Hier ege weiden a sjale de min, en tijde kiert van a jijn. Stjacht as betjaren a jechen a bren, as de vegen en merninen. Go vai tijde hai as jichen san joch vai, rauw a ledre redden. Es vrag sin sjaler skin en gjaum, as hai sin san a gelen. Hier ege hjarkas mach ege chlet, a kiden vagat as vrene. Rosh Roshan Tiden Chicken voor de wonja galish tema. Gol Susan Rata Denya Lart as menig vluchen en leggen. En flad Verona's vader voin, od sun seiden dan na heaven. Treren sin fedden sa flodre geven, nach rauwet sin leis brouwel. Trech eel sin ag na skeel en vag, nach jou sin voin en fammen. Treven sheberiet as a lega right, as ol je jint de bachtel. Hij sin de ronze grauwe yeast beg vandaag, de het rauw in de achtel. Roos brezen le hoog sin mach kare, a lees we sin naar hundel. Sin hiet se geen kunde buig, dan soer sin neder lauwel. Ek brezen lewe kjuden as rei, van kin garesh treigeni. De holje hjal vak fagen go, gelach giach mach san chweri. An vai voor sterm de luur, les is vlug as vlagger. Skaden a gledden, joch sin an sheden, a gavig as a vok vara. Taiocht an always be an eges ljaur, veg much den manach dag a chicken. Heg much as roin dos toolish no long as begin sign ons teichwegen. Ons teichwegen voort at joch de ljoer, lesh palje ljun as ligger. As liavi vai the golla lai, Travis mudge lesh nan shibber. Be purchit I fogush naiach nai, ten schnai ein tag a gavig. Ach na mren o sin gal shimma gin greta kurt ein foss of voller.
Brian Maxdowell and the song Man in Vegveen, leading up to a grand night in Teichwigan in Dúlis, in Douglas, ons Teichwigan moor to joch de lure, as paltje lunes ligger. Robert Hector was a surgeon and accoucheur in Douglas. An accoucheur is a physician who specialises in obstetrics and so attends to women brought to bed for childbirth. In early 1825, Mr. Hector moved his practice from the North Quay in Douglas to just back from the quay in New Bond Street, but fairly shortly after there's another advertisement for him taking rooms in the Wellington buildings on the corner of Duke Street. It's there that an incident occurred with a tenant of the property, Patrick Russell Cruz. Turning to the pages of the Manx Advertiser for Thursday, December the 8th, 1825, there's an article. Before Deemster Christian and a jury of 6. Cruz versus Hector. This was a suit brought against the defendant, Hector, for challenging the plaintiff to fight a duel, under a clause in our criminal code. Messrs. Blewett and Costnahan conducted the prosecution, and Mr. James Quirk Jr., on behalf of Hector, defended the suit. Van gaur seo ag taich de sgil fisgan sioil de luch tai yn sian talier, nod rawi corbanie daw, de weergaad as mersova femer jenu sigad rawi passach at de maidach lei. Ren 3 mecca talier jenu sian rare shell. Ag gerre yn chyd lai tigins den vaccina de wel ich len na wadach hi plugge fochen bielia. Den maak sinne ginst shen den shan talier, te ginstei net een goren instei. Ach tret een shan talier braich jen gor hin, rau bi de lurek, vi greine rau fochen bi regedenek paien lai. Den talier kreelde wel de maak sinne een inch breeg dessen, as de gieber te maag as een tai, les boeligen jen klathaus dun daardegge. As ten rid gedin tager tret een de vakelia corliau a goormachtadige, as ten sjaan talier gimmen schule dat senjes les boeligen a klathaus dun daardegge. Een laier gain ten sjaan talier geen corlesje goormachtadige. And one of Welsh singer Mynir Gwilym's early successes was her Smokes Coffee a Vodka Rhad. Smokes coffee and cheap vodka. However, what she really wants here is double gin a tonic.
Sgintyn yn sbar a dwi isio dyfel gin a tonic sgorsio efo schizophrenic dim ond o fi yn y bar yn chwerthin ar y boi efo'r gitar dinas yn ynghiron oer dwi roed I bod mor achdyd na fi'n meddwl fod reit swylon gwrando di yn astyd triad I dy ora I fod yn glen bob bora mi weli cyn bo hir a fydd pethau'n dod yn well efo dyfel gin a tonic sgorsio efo I'r brawn a dangos sydd yna fydron pan dweud os ti'n byw yn y ddinas rhydd clywed eisiau ar fy gwir dwi isio double gin a tonic sgwrsio efo schizophrenic double gin a tonic double gin a tonic double gin a tonic.
Mynheer Gwilym and her song about looking for a late night double gin a tonic in slightly dubious surroundings, it must be said. Eg Geran Light and Gael Greirish and Talier de Veli Cholen Dodi Plugger Fochen Bielia. Sul Tailio. Ach ons Stalek Rish ten Gael Grey na Rau Fochen Bier Gedenek. As Musso Agresek. Esten Talier Tiggle. De Vel en Gael Ginch Bregen. As de rauwe en niebert schul na tri mekege genor. Te bere eden a gaur chore as basilau, te korskutchi as te giebert schuli. Es te na lummerken sa taiege, as na tri mekege moei sa tail. Van Max Shinne na frindees de ser tai, as ik gerren treege, kom mai van immerkege de wel een meisjerege korde boerd, na wel gien gurish ridderlier, ach tre te kuritschises te grei boerd, bi kudich, tan boerdje lirach chit de we ledden de wee as de jaag blastel. Tan Max Shinne gulle red de valje, as die gol gus taich, bis geterug de wel ejino imagen woord in de zak ege de gedden bi a han as some podden de geerti elje. Now before the case even started, the name of Robert Brown of Onken being called as a juryman, that gentleman appeared and addressed the judge, and addressing the judge said that he had on a former occasion been accepted on account of his deafness, and requested that he should on the present occasion be excused. He complained of the coroner of Middle, who had been repeatedly cautioned not to summon him, but whose hawk-like pertinacity ceased not to trouble him. The Deemster said that the conduct of the coroner was, in this respect, very negligent, and, having caused his appearance to be formally called, his honour fined him in the sum of £10. Mr. Blewett moved that the coroner of Glenfaber might be ordered to summon a gentleman of the parish of Onken, who was accidentally in court, to supply the vacancy of Mr. Brown, it being the customary right of that coroner to exercise his office throughout the island. And so that was done, and in fact another juryman was challenged and a replacement was made in the same way. A fiddler from Tulla in the county Clare, that's Saoirse Costello, who gave herself minor complications, not the least of which was going into Clancy's Bar. Clancy's Bar is in Milltown, Malbay, and she wrote that tune after attending the Willie Clancy Summer School there. Stasiwn yn asiwn dy radio fanning, si Claare na Gael fy sgwl'r sgelia mach ag yn tre ton. Mish Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert y Carslach.
Did the ever hear tell of old Bobby Bob?
Ta ced o't clash yn y cledyn chlesh o rish siachten lwg di gul'r sgelia mach, trwyd inadeg y radio banning as yn craman eish rish. Ta podcast regedden nasty nies vai inadeg y radio banning na trwyd ceir the podcast elia, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Audible, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn na Alexa. And so back to the case between Mr. Patrick Russell Cruise and Mr. Robert Hector, the Dr. Robert Hector. Mr. C, having taken apartments in the house of Mr. Hector, the latter, out of politeness, had invited the former to be one of a party with him. The former accepted the invitation and partook of the hospitality of the defendant. That on a subsequent occasion, Mr. Cruise too had a party, and Mr. Hector on that occasion overheard some expressions of disrespect relative to himself, Mr. H, and family. That in consequence of this the defendant sent the note in question, which, he contended, could not be construed into a challenge to fight with deadly weapons in form of the act of Tynwald, so that Mr. Cruise had no earthly occasion to be terrified or consider himself injured by the message in question. The Deemster charged the jury, who, without leaving the box, immediately returned a verdict of guilty. Mr. Cruise then, by his advocate, prayed the judge that the penalty might, through his intercession, be made as light as possible. Tan oster giri Gael y bwrd. As synnu, te meilat ar y bwrd yndysach, son fair cajin veg a hana. Tan mac sinna gold a valia ginnis na vel a bwrdega a bwrd ciart. Ach treten yn y bwnen chitstiach de goel von deisje in boer jindesach, gaan elbeg tachert. Yn onach neach boer kajentoon. As ten mak shinne goel njere de wel jeen de wee bleb, as mollits en ach shaw. Ten navak jit de wee muljer, as kunte en immer gemai eggesen, ten meisje egge koorde adel. Tret en treegagent. As tret e cor enrit roshen adel shaw as de gre briekelbrit. Tan adel spoete maag kunjig en era. Ach tan navak shaw nies tanachten sun ontaios as a maak shinnehege. As tan ooster meelatre an adel jindesachege son fair kajen. Sy taeg a rish ta nabak sio muljer eg, jerkel rish cor erget de loer den en boonen. Ach rish, te fedden maag de rawi mollich, as de ne adel cajin ton nish. Now there was plenty to drink in Ty Wigan, and then there was late night Welsh bar for that double gin and tonic. Cornish singer Brenda Wootton contents herself now with some good old apple wine.
It's strange the way we all remember warm and sunny skies. The images, they run together right before my eyes. But in the meantime, I think I'll just settle down here, drink some good old apple wine. I've seen lean time strange the way we all remember warm and sunny skies. The images, they run together right before my eyes. But in the meantime, I think I'll just settle down here, drink some good old apple wine. I've seen mean times, good times, I couldn't care. I leave them all behind. Ooh, high in the air, on good old apple wine. Ooh, high in the air, on good old apple wine. Ooh, high in the air, on good old apple wine.
The voice of Brenda Wootton from Newlyn in Cornwall, and there she was high in the air on good old apple wine, a song written by John Bidwell. Tan trasvac ginsacha courage a réile de foy. Tan brereg a scrúrish, as te ginch demachon an ooster bradach ren gaid je boerdien de sach as an adel era. As tred ten tre ag an trasvac gint, son an immer gemaega, ta maisje corde sac as onsen ta maja. Ma vis peach enjach saige ern den jeeg tegre, vaja mach as a tak. As chilirach ten maja limmamach as cord en feich shen gin machin, as genelli square vai der bis en den jeeg gre, vaja stjach ons a tak. Tan deelder fo eeg golgus a taeach heden as te lord machan ridden jindesach tonsen sak shaw, as eis te chorosak von chioneg a mor klushag, chaus te ligge de we na chadle bink. Tred an o sterk or eber gaidjen sak, tan dunje grey, vaja mach as a tak. Tan dunje ginst den oster bradach de jinne freurish ligge den vaja boule, manabelle corde a boerdjindesach as an adel era, renne gaij van devrerega. In the evidence, Mr. Hector wrote to Mr. Cruz, I am informed from respectable authority that you have in a most ungentlemanly manner held me and my family up to ridicule, and in fact the constant theme of entertainment of your visitors. After such unwarrantable conduct, I demand from you without delay an ample apology, or that satisfaction which I would expect from a gentleman. If refused, you must submit to what follows. And to this Mr. Cruz replied, I this instant received a note bearing your signature. I consider myself quite sufficiently adequate to the task of entertaining my visitors without introducing you, or either you or your family upon the table, further than having mentioned the business which is now at issue. Your informant's name I should be glad to know. P. Russell Cruz. And Mr. Hector writes to him again, I am perfectly satisfied as to the truth of what I have just stated. My informant is a gentleman. I therefore demand either your apology or gentlemanly satisfaction. And the point at issue is whether this is a challenge to a duel or not. Now, Hamish Imlach, the Scottish singer from Glasgow, is well known for his song all about cod liver oil and orange juice. But here he takes on the role of a Carlton weaver, and he sings about something that has set his mind on other than cod liver oil and orange juice, probably a lot tastier too.
Carlton weaver, I'm a Russian roving blade. I've got silver in my boots, gang and follow the roving trade. Oh, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. As I get in by Glasgow City, Nancy, whiskey, a chance to smell. I get in, sat down beside her, 7 long years I loved her well. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. I arose early in the morning, slaked my truth, it was my need. I tried to rise, but I wasn't able, whiskey had me by the heel. Ah, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. Quick landlady, what's the law, and tell me what I have to pay. by Glasgow City. Nancy whiskey a chance they smell. I gaed and spent 4 and 6pence. All I left was a crooked scale. Ah, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. Well, I'll go back to the Carlton Weave and fairly mak the shuttles fly. I'll mak mer at the Carlton Weave and the never I did in the roving way. Oh, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. Come all ye weavers, Carlton weavers, come all ye weavers, wherever you be. Beware of whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, ruin you as she ruined me. Oh, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh.
The Carlton weaver, who was enticed by whisky to leave the weaving for a time and go for the roving trade, and that was a version sung by Hamish Imlach. Mr. Cruz now writes, in replying to your first note, I called upon you to give me up the name of your informant. I made no reply to your second note because you declined coming to the point. That is, giving up your informant. However, I am now advised by gentlemen of the most unquestionable honour to render you an explanation, but no apology. First, on the evening to which you evidently allude, I entertained my friends freely to a very late hour in the evening. At the latest hour, and when none but my private and particular friends remained, it's possible that I might have reverted to the question at issue between us. It's also possible that a friend of mine, with an imagination always warm and a head then heated by wine, might have made some sarcastic or improper observations. But, sir, I ask you, since when is it that we must gag the mouths of our visitors or be responsible for what friends say over the bottle? Shen Matei is sul taiega. Genel en kunt manager trete klaschen terwijl maage und sakege. Ach treten mak ginstemmigjon en acht tegavrige, as terwijl heden riches a choles tai en der in de zakweg en brerigen egge, as vergaidje tegen ooster, skoon wel een sjaan talier krale. Ach hugge eem de wakegge, as en de boenen jestig het stjach aan. Eis renne dele der fooi corles stjach an adel. As hugge rit roi, as doorte rische brer, nish me brer wien. Lori. As doorte muljer, briekelbrit. As tjellerach van rit koedit les koenige era. Der vertouwspuwak na wegeblidok immer geursoel. Dan begin sjo dat no de bastach in a rawussensjen. Eis renne dele der fooi cor schiese boerd, as doort hij nish me breirien, lorish. As doort een ser tai, woord be koedit. As tjellerach we koedit, as we immer die just non jane wie share, as joch share the you. Ennebon, the old bridge, is a town on the river Blavet, not far from Lorient, and there it was celebrated in music by the band Poisson Rouge, who are no doubt keen partakers of Chistre and the eau de vie which is distilled from it. Seo dat stasiwn yn asiwn, sien na greu, radio fanning, as yn sio tawys geisiach, rys Claare na Gael, mer yn pyn Robert Cadine Carswell, Robert y Carslach.
Ever heard tell of our Bobby Bob?
Eis fy gynsoc Jane lid, na raw riw ragen os taia talier. As ren y cled yn tjesiach, tanachtan ons sien ffot na hei, as fyd manre, as fyd jint mach. Lurg sien ren yn talier cor fo glas ons kuppert, a sneed as een snijegge, a klats taust on daartegge, as een jaren smoedelegge, va enmesich gai, een oder ouwen dornen gien gurish mwanel gai. As renne berge de breg rish na 3 mekegge, on solje moer as ons stormit. Ach krei Henk a gaur, van oor njauw oils on de mek, gol ibert soel. Je mens dat. We genachten der a chwys nere ek jain kion meel ek, de renni reis jaag ons tole chinnach, as renni vollig hien ons shen. Tra henken chinnach tai, honneke de chul blege gameleshel, honneke de chul moere blege ersen assen dorges, as we al moeregge as renne che. Henk ma gauwen de whale, as fagen de rauwe gien de ve burrich de moer, ve lot goiltoyach de lotrish. As nish, Mr. Cruz concludes, all I can for myself say, is that I did not on the occasion referred to take any share in a part offensive to you, and that I most truly regret if any visitor of mine said anything hostile to your character or feelings, a thing quite inimical to my nature or habits. However, we'll come back to find out what Robert Hector has to say, and the reason why eventually Mr. Cruz felt he had no alternative but to take the matter to law and to stop Mr. Hector in his tracks, as it were, by taking him and suing him in this court of law. I see that one of the people who was in the prosecution was Mr. Blewett, and I was reading just the other day about Mr. Blewett and how he was not a very popular figure at all. He was rather ill-tempered and unpleasant, and people didn't like him. But anyway, he was obviously effective in the courtroom. Phil Gorn is very happy here when he finally gets into the Shap Bareen, the cake shop, with the band Skeel.
shepherd in and Balgam Gag and cry by. Bry me Jason Bunnick and we stood me regions I by. Hi me Jack and shepherd in and Balgam Gag and the cry by. Bry me Jason Bunnick and we stood me regions I by. Rappers, Remigal Grim, Hegel and Gilgin Year. Rappers, Remigal Grim, Gastami Bonus Stilga. Rappers, Remigal Grim, Hegel and Gilgin Year. Rappers, Remigal Grim, Gastami Bonus Stilga. Remigal Grim, Hegel and Gilgin Year. Rappers, Remigal Grim, Gastami Bonus Stilga. Rappers, Remigal Grim, Hegel and Gilgin Year. Rappers, Remigal Grim, Gastami Bonus Stilga. I me check and shepherd in and Balgam Gag and the cry by. Bry me Jason Bunnick and we stood me regions I by. I me check and shepherd in and Balgam Gag and the cry by. Bry me Jason Bunnick and we stood me regions I by. Rappers, Remigal Grim, Hegel and Gilgin Year. Rappers, Remigal Grim, Gastami Bonus Stilga. Rappers, Remigal Grim, Hegel and Gilgin Year. Rappers, Remigal Grim, Gastami Bonus Stilga. I me check and shepherd in and Balgam Gag and the cry by.
Come and Shannon Rache, Cargin Enum, as high mistiach, 3 tunes from the band Skeel, including Phil Gorner going into the Chaperine. Well, to be frank, he rather picks it up. Again, Robert Hector writes to Patrick Russell Cruz, and he says, in answer to yours, to prove that I don't wish to call upon you to answer for the faults of another, deny the 2 following questions, if you can. Did you not, in the most ungentlemanly manner, nominate individually the persons present when my child was christened, and hold them up for the sarcastic remarks of your particular friend? Did not you or yours inform said particular friend that a certain lady feigned sick and retired in consequence of the vulgarity of the company? Sir, I pity your weakness, and shall feel satisfied with your reply, provided you withdraw the words, explanation but no apology. I shall expect your reply by 11 o'clock tomorrow. Vrije ma gauwen Jane Shinnach, Kirad vis Jin award ma vrije Shinnach, de velu Jane gurre shen. Och, nee, dregger en Shinnach, ta beest eegi na heise tolem, as te blege armles soelien eilach. Nimmer Jimmen mag de leer doet de ma gauwen, as haie gus a tol as jiches jaag aan. Ach tre gauwe shilje Jane soelien eilach, henk atje moer ersen nis. As on a rawi giri korish beige choegi, soelesh. De leer henke kwel shellen. Versmunjen rauwen immer grege Jane de wei O'Donnell as doorterish. Va rauwen, tau Jane de wei lag griach, kry henk de spirit brioil. Fish mai dregger ma rauwen. Ons tole chinnach, ta beige eegi na hai les soelien eilach, as genotmuch immen mage. Dregger a shellen. Te vissem de velu saige beg jim, va gauwen, kry toer bagen noen beg mish, a gerliam de wadum koeneliat. A Welsh band Arlog sing about Cwrw Da, good beer.
Tafarn y bwlcyn tew, pen fel llwynog a bol fel llew, jwg dwy ddolen a dwbl peg, yn enor dinog yn arradig. O gwrw da, rwy'n dy garin ore, o gwrw da, rwy'n dy garin ore, tiw ni farwch i'n hwyr ac yn bore. Cael pyrsiad mawr o arian ac falle wario'r pwrs ar gobl cyn cael gwybod dim o'i meddwl. O gwrw da, rwy'n dy garin ore, o gwrw da, rwy'n dy garin ore,
voice of Geraint Glyn Davis with the Welsh band Arlog, singing about good Welsh beer, Cwrw Da. Mar so detel y sielan stiach ons tol y chinnach. As lurgi sai cion re verit y gawr, huggy ga on getrom, de renny limmersoes as demi be, as renny rai mach as rawl y tail. Ach gus yn oer sio, genel vis eg pecher bi, a vol gus renny rai. Now, with regard to Patrick Russell Cruise's prosecution against Robert Hector, Mr. Hector wrote pithily, I fear neither you nor your prosecution. I never yet trembled before man, much less before a coward, written in capital letters. Deemster Christian sentenced Mr. Hector, Dr. Hector, to prison, but in fact the Lieutenant Governor commuted that to a £10 fine because Mr. Hector was a working physician, a doctor. Between 7 and 9 this evening, you can enjoy the best of chill-out music for your Sunday evening in the company of Chris Pearson, and then at 9, Judith Lay will conduct you safely into the early hours of Monday morning with her programme Sundown. Closing closing Claare Gael. This time there's a masterclass in the music of the Ilian Pipes by Mikey Smith, a superb piper and tutor of the pipes from Dublin, and his use of the regulators here is just absolutely so deft he makes it sound almost effortless, which it is by no means. Ach sianne rish fain chormach siojay Claare Gael. So now from me, Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Owl Bobby Bob.
Bawaliam Corert Efi. I'm wishing you a very good night, Evi Macriorts, as Duts Mayirian share.